Michelle D. Miller is the author of Minds Online, Teaching Effectively with Technology, Harvard University Press, 2014. A guide to enhancing blended, hybrid, and online courses through the application of principles from cognitive and brain sciences. Her academic background is in cognitive psychology, emphasizing memory, attention, language processing. Her current research focuses on evidence-based pedagogy, distraction and learning, and effective college teaching, which she has written about in scholarly as well as general interest publications, including College Teaching, Change, the Magazine of Higher Learning, Inside High Ed, and The Conversation. Michelle is a professor of psychological sciences and President's Distinguished Teaching Fellow at Northern Arizona University. At NAU, she has co-created and currently directs the First Year Learning Initiative, a program that supports faculty in redesigning foundational courses in ways that promote student successes. She also co-created the award-winning Attention Matters module, an educational resource that uses interactive online activities to teach students about how divided attention affects learning and offers strategies for fighting digital distraction.
Okay, this is Erin with my key takeaways. In looking at incorporating multimedia effectively, it stands to mention that learning styles influence an educator's choice when deciding what should be placed in an online classroom. Visual learners will learn best from diagrams, artwork, and pictures. Auditory learners will learn from lectures, music, and spoken explanation. And finally, kinesthetic learners will benefit from hands-on material they can actually manipulate. It stands to reason that all three types of material should be included in a well-rounded course. In looking at motivation, students who are having difficulty, otherwise known as procrastination, can modify these thoughts with the right persuasive techniques. It can be difficult, as with an online course, students will simply disconnect. Class and assignment design can be a huge motivator, which moves us to our next idea, putting it all together. Specifically asking ourselves as educators, what do we want our students to know? How do we want them to spend study time? How their learning will be measured? And finally, how they will learn from other students in the class. From that point, educators are able to build their classes for their students' needs.
Key takeaways from Chapter 7, Thinking. Practice paired with rich learning experience allows students to grow their critical thinking. Fostering higher order of thinking is the target always for educators. Here, if you look at Bloom's taxonomy, you will see that recall is one of the lower levels of thinking. As we progress up the pyramid, we have understanding, apply, analyze, evaluate, and finally creation, where we do a synthesis of all of the lower levels to create. How does this impact online learning? Well, we need to assign students the thinking practice that we want to see. We need to set up reasoning scenarios, use analogies, and use discussion to build thinking skills.
In this book, Michelle D. Miller discusses cognitive principles that enable us to create new and better learning experiences with technology. Course designs need to include elements of socialization between students and their teacher. It must involve critical thinking and writing. This can be done through icebreaker activities, discussion boards, and group work. This will be enhanced through peer feedback, varying content based on student input. The lessons should be built upon what students already know and lead to learning new knowledge. It is important to challenge the learners with not just fact assimilation, but higher order of thinking and skill building. Miller emphasizes that online learning must take cues from computer gaming and offering focused goals. Standards for performance are clear and rapid feedback in relation to that goal. Like social media, you are alone, but are offered affirmation of your success.
Connect the book's themes with course readings. Technology is a perfect conduit for learning as discussed by both Fullen and Scott and Miller. Fullen and Scott on page 55 state, engage students in productive learning to assist in degree completion and result in better graduates. That's linked directly to chapters 4 through 6. That states students are able to embark on activities that leverage strengths not used in the classroom through video, audio, image, text, and query. Deeper level processing, metacognition, and opportunities to engage with peers are all achieved. Together, technology actually would be able to deepen learning.
This is Erin Brabazon with connecting the book's theme to the course readings. In creating an online classroom that is conducive to the students' best interest and to intrinsically motivate them, we can explore the idea of a servant leader. As seen in Greenleaf's work, the servant leader is servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve and to serve first. In a class that does not meet face-to-face, the emotional connection that usually helps drive students simply is not there. As seen in Crippen's work, teaching is all about making connections with people. In the online environment, this can be a challenge. But as a servant leader, putting our students first, we have a better opportunity for success. Finally, Erin Brabazon with the conclusion. Overall, as seen, the online environment is a growing platform, and it stands to argue that it will continue to grow exponentially in the years to come. Michelle D. Miller, author of Minds Online, Teaching Effectively with Technology, has created an outline in her text for designing an environment for students to ensure their success in this relatively new and ever-growing style of learning. In looking at the basis and foundation of online learning, psychology of the brain, motivation, and finally, construction of the online course, servant leaders are able to construct a classroom with our students' best interest in mind.